Hi guys, welcome to Moonchild Celebrity Tarot. So today I'll start a new series, which is like we're gonna have a look at a BTS personality and characteristic. And today we're gonna start with Namjoon. I've already spread the card, like some of them, and spread the card. I didn't cherry picking them, so we're just gonna go as the card shows. Yeah, so basically I have this cross spread here, which is gonna give us the main information about like who he really is, like his personality and characteristics, even the traits that not many people know about or like he doesn't want to show to the public. And we also have these 4 oracle cards just to like give additional information. Right. So right in the center we have this Knight of Pentacles, which I think goes really well with Namjoon, but we're just gonna have a look at the other cards as well. Oh, I said upside down. 10 of Wands, 7 of Chalices, we have 7 of Swords. Wow, okay. And then we have Knight of Wands. Oh, that makes sense. Well, from the Knights, we've got 2 Knights here. So right off the bat, I can say that he's such a fighter who's always fighting. He's always in some kind of battle. And this is like this Knight of Pentacles, it is in the center of this spread. So to me it's like the most important or like the most informative card in this spread, and like it's represent him the best. So to me this Knight of Pentacles is someone who is very hardworking, very focused. Like he knows what he wants, he knows where he's going. Like he has his eyes fixed on the goal of his life, and he's just gonna do everything to get to that point. But sometimes, like when you're too focused on something, you kind of like forget about everything else. And it's like this knight is kind of like doesn't pay much attention to his horse, which is the actually things that carries him to his goal. Like on this journey, he kind of like doesn't really acknowledge it as he should. So the horse is kind of like tired and worried, but he's still fixed on his goal. So to me, sometimes it's still like he can be too focused on his goal and forget about other people around him. It's not to the extent that he's selfish, but sometimes like he has such ambitious and like such great goals, and he cannot find a way to like fully transmit it to other people. Like he cannot find a way to fully express it to other people and like make people understand, even the people who are like really close to him, like the member or the staff. Like sometimes, because he's a genius, he's like really smart, and he's very quick-witted, and his brains works in the ways that like 90% of other people's brain wouldn't work in that way. So it's sometimes can be hard to express himself, like to let people understand him and fully support him. And I feel like sometimes he finds it hard to be known, like to be understood. We also have this, like we have the 10 of Wands as well, which is someone who's always carrying everything on their shoulders. So with like these 2 cards together, I feel like yes, he puts a lot of pressure on himself. He puts a lot of responsibilities on himself, and sometimes he doesn't want to share it with other people. It's not because he doesn't trust other people, but because he doesn't trust himself to like convince other people, like or like he doesn't think that people would understand or people would think in the way that he does. So he tends to, do everything himself, and he tends to just keep everything to himself and like try his best to carry on. Like even with the responsibility of a leader, like it's because he is a leader, so he thinks of himself in that way, and he takes all the responsibility. He wants to protect all his member from like the worries and the troublesome, so he tend to like try to deal with it himself. And unless it's get too it sometimes it get too much, because this tens of wands is like this person has been going on this journey all by himself, like carrying everything on himself all the way, and it's getting to the tipping point, like the point where it is too much for him to carry on. So I think with Namjoon, he's definitely needs to like share his responsibility, his thoughts, and his worries and everything with the ones that he trusts the most, even if it's his member or like his staff or his family, friends, someone to share it out. But like with this card, like even though it's been really tough, but he sees the blossom, like he sees the results, like everything is paying off. So so in his head he's doing the right thing, but at the same time it's getting too much for him to carry on just by himself. He is working in a group, so he needs to share that. I'm not saying that he's selfish or anything, it's just he's being too responsible, like because he thinks he's the leader, he's the the big brother of other members, and also he's like the president of army, so he tend to try to show people only the good things, not the bad. Like he would take on the bad things himself, like he would take care of the world. Other people just need to enjoy and like have fun, but that not how it works when we in a group, like when we are a family together. So I hope he sees that. And then we have this Seven of Chalices. To me, this card speaks about like like something unreal. So when it comes to Namjoon, he's such a philosophy. He's such a philosophy. He always thinks, like I feel like his thoughts are 20 years ahead of most people. So he reads all those Carl Jung books since he was like 21, 22 or something. So his mind is amazing. Like it's progressed to the next level of humanity, I think. So it's always, sometimes it's easy to get stuck in this, not imaginary, but like in this futuristic world, and sometimes it can get hard for him to like separate the real world and the world that he wants to create, because he does like he really wants to push forward to a better world. He wants to be a part of creating a better world, but he's very well aware that it's not an easy job, and there's a lot of people who's gonna stop him, like try to stop him from doing so, like try to stop him from making the world a better place, or like not, maybe not the world, but like the music world, like the K-pop, K-beats. He definitely wants to change that, like at the first like step of changing the world. So with this Seven of Swords, together with all these cards, it's like, it feels to me like he only shows the world or like other people 20%, 30% of his personality. Like, of course, with sensitive people, when we look at his actions and his words and his whatever it is that he shows, we can understand like a lot of him more than what is actually said. But he's very smart, so everything he does has an intention behind it. So whatever it is that he chooses to show us, it is his persona that he wants people to see. It's really hard to get deeper than that. Like, you have to be super close to him to understand this part of him. I think even with the members, like, they've been living together for almost like 10 years now, but I don't think all of them have ever like understand him like to the deep root. Maybe Jin or Yoongi would understand him more than other people, and also like, to me it felt like with each of the members he would choose to show the different parts of him. So like maybe Jimin would understand him like emotionally, his emotions and things like that. Taeyong and Jungkook would understand like the playful side of him. Yoongi and Hobi would understand the professional side of him, and maybe Seokjin would understand more like the most of him. But no, he doesn't show his his whole shelf to anyone. He has a lot of persona. That's what I can say. And then we come to this Knight of Wands. He's a man of actions and emotions. Like, his emotions are sometimes like really overwhelming. He can be like, sometimes it can be like waves that rushing through him, so like take him out of this reality, together with this Seven of Chalices and this Knight of Pentacles. So the Knights of the man of actions. He liked to act, but he also, like with the Knight of Wands, is all about, passion, motivation, inspiration. It's all about like life goal and life purpose. So he has his eyes fixed, like he knows what his life purpose is. It is big, it is ambitious, but he's doing everything he can to reach that goal. But along the way, like, his emotions running really high. And he'll be able to channel that into, like, he'll be able to turn his emotions into actions and into like something that really influence people and really inspire people. And he's doing this at a very young age. Whenever I look at this card, say, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. Right. So it's like it goes. These three cards go so well together. Like he's trying to, because this is like the world that he's dreaming of, the futuristic world, and sometimes he even doubts himself that if he can even make it to this world, like he can even try to create some of it into reality. But I think he needs to like have faith and like trust himself and trust the universe, because he's like very spiritual as well, I think. Not in a creepy way, but in like a very psychological way kind of thing. And it goes with this Seven of Swords as well, like have faith in other people around him, and have faith in himself as well, because I think he believes in the microcosmos theory, which is like each of us is a universe inside of ourselves, and it works like simultaneously with the outer world. So yeah, he needs to like he can trust himself and trust other people, and let himself be understood more. prosperity, like the new moon in Taurus. It's funny, is Taurus and Namjoon is a Virgo, so they all like they both earth element, and they're very stubborn kind of ways. It looks like this bull. Like when they have their eyes fixed on something, they would not budge. Like they would do everything to get to that point. You remember, where are you being called to journey to? See, this is like the world that he wants. This is the world that he wants to create. Like, I don't know, I think he always have this sense of justice inside himself. He wants to make just to the world, even if it can, like, it can not be the world, but it's like the world around himself, like the music industry, the Korean society. He's very supportive of like LGBT community, but in South Korea is something that is still really not that progressed. So I think he so like that's just one of the example of his ideal world that he's working towards too. And I know I feel like he's always have this voice inside his head telling him to, you know, to try to move forward, like to try to make this happen, like try to bring this world into the reality. Appreciate this moment. I feel like this is like an advice, not like a piece of advice to him. Like it's yes, it is great. It is wonderful to dream of a world like this, but it's also important to enjoy the moment. I feel like sometimes he's stressed out too much with this 10 of Wands, that this man, like he's stressing with carrying on with this lock on his shoulders. He forgets to enjoy the blossom that's coming for him. It comes because of his actions, and it is for him to enjoy, but he's too focused on his responsibility and goals, so sometimes he's forget about that. So I think this is just like a reminder or like a piece of advice for him to enjoy the moment. But I think he's doing that okay now, I hope. It takes time to go to like museums and do the namjooning that he does, but I know this time can be a really stressful time for everyone, particularly him as a leader and as someone who's like represent the group and the company. So it is like this time is the time that he feels more pressure and more responsibility on himself. But all in all, I think Namjoon is someone who came into this world to make really big changes. He cannot do that all by himself, but he's like the visionary. He's like the visionary. He's very he has all this vision, and he's gonna influence people, like motivate people, and push us forward to create like a better world. And like as we light workers sometimes say, he is someone who comes into this world to raise the world's vibration. So he's here to make everyone's vibrations go up to another level, like which makes the world better in a way. But like more importantly, he's here to make each of us feel more connected and feel more special, feel more capable. But I think he's aware of that too. I think he knows what he wants to, like he knows that is something that he wants to do, but that is such a great responsibility, and is sometimes is too ambitious, so he tends to put a lot of pressure on himself, and he tends to hide his persona from other people. he doesn't fully show himself to anyone in particular. He shows, like, depends on the person. He would show the version of persona that he picked out just for that person. So he can have like 100 personas inside of him, and nobody would ever know the real, like his real self except him. But you know, like, someone as great as he is and as smart as he is, it's very understandable that like psychological thing happens inside his head. But all in all, I just hope that he sees that it is okay to open up, and it is okay to share a bit of his responsibility to other people around him, like his members, his brothers. Trust them more. It's not that they don't. It's not that he doesn't trust them. He doesn't want them to get burdened. But I feel like they can, and they are willing to do that with him. And together they can even more powerful in influencing people than they already are today. So yeah, I think that's all I have for Namjoon in terms of his like personality and characteristic. I'll be doing other members' readings soon, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.